Hey everyone, welcome. Today we are jumping into one of the most wild, transformative, and sometimes confusing times in anyone's life, growing up. We're going to break down all the crazy changes happening to your body and, most importantly, why they're happening. So let's get right into it. Does this feel at all familiar? You know that strange in-between phase where you look in the mirror one day and you're like, wait, who is that? It can feel a little confusing for sure. But trust me, you are definitely not the only one feeling this way. I mean, this quote just hits the nail on the head, right? It's not just some weird feeling you have, it's a real, recognized part of life that everyone goes through. And this whole period actually has an official name. It's called adolescence. That's the scientific term for this whole journey. It usually kicks off around age 11 and takes you all the way through your teen years. And hey, for girls, it often starts a bit earlier, and that's totally normal. The main thing to get is that this is a natural, expected process. So, what's the spark that gets this whole thing started? That would be puberty. Think of it like this. Adolescence is the entire road trip. And puberty? Puberty is the engine that's making the car go, driving all the physical changes that get your body ready for adulthood. All right, so what are we actually talking about here? Let's get into the nitty-gritty, the stuff you can literally see happening when you look in the mirror. First up, the big one. The growth spurt. This is probably the change you, your friends, and your family notice first. All of a sudden, the pants you wore last month are too short. This happens because the long bones in your arms and legs are literally having a major stretch, pushing you taller and taller. Now, check this out. This is pretty cool. We can actually kind of track this growth. Now, everybody's different, but this chart shows the average percentage of your full adult height you've reached by a certain age. And if you look closely, you can see that girls often hit their big growth spurt a little earlier than boys do. And get this, you can even play fortune teller a little bit. Using those numbers from the last slide, you can make a pretty good guess about how tall you're going to be. Just take your height right now, divide it by the percentage for your age and gender, and then multiply by 100. It's not a guarantee, obviously, but it's a fun way to get a sneak peek. Okay, but has this ever been you? You feel like your feet are suddenly huge or your arms are super long and nothing seems proportional? If you're feeling this, listen up. You are not alone. It is so normal. Your body parts don't all grow at the exact same time. It's kind of like a puzzle where the pieces are all growing at different speeds, but eventually everything catches up and fits together perfectly. And it's not just about getting taller, right? Your whole body's shape starts to shift, and it happens a bit differently for boys and girls. For guys, you'll notice shoulders and chests getting broader as muscles start to develop. And for girls, it's common for the area below the waist to become wider. These are all signs your body is maturing. And for the guys, let's talk about the voice change. What's happening is your voice box, or larynx, is actually growing bigger. That growth is what causes that noticeable bump in the throat, the Adam's apple. As it grows, your vocal cords get longer and your voice gets deeper. And yeah, the voice cracks, they happen. It's just your voice getting used to its new size. Totally normal. Okay, so on top of all that, other things start to pop up. Scientists call these secondary sexual characteristics. Basically, these are the changes that further distinguish male and female bodies. For girls, breasts start to develop. For boys, facial hair might start to appear, and for everyone, new hair will start to grow in places like under your arms. All right, we've seen all the what's. What's changing? But what about the how? How is all of this stuff just happening? Let's pull back the curtain and take a look at your body's internal control room. The magic word here is hormones. Think of them like tiny chemical messengers, or little text messages, being sent all through your body. Glands release them into your bloodstream, and they travel to a specific body part with a very clear set of instructions like, okay, time to grow. And check out this chain of command. It's brilliant. It all kicks off right up in your brain with something called the pituitary gland. It sends out the first order. That hormonal message travels through your blood until it reaches its target, the testes in boys or the ovaries in girls. They get the message loud and clear and release their own hormones, testosterone or estrogen. And bam! Those are the messengers that kickstart all the physical changes we've been talking about. So all this stuff, the growth spurts, the changing shapes, the hormones flying around, what's it all for? Well, it's all building towards one really important biological goal, reaching what's called reproductive maturity. So what does that actually look like? Well, for boys, the testes and penis finish their development, and the testes begin to produce sperm. For girls, the ovaries get larger, eggs start to mature inside them, and then, about once every month or so, one of those mature eggs is released. Now, for girls, that release of an egg is part of a monthly cycle. The body prepares the uterus just in case a pregnancy happens. If the egg isn't fertilized, no big deal, the body just sheds that lining. This totally natural process is called menstruation, and the very first time it happens is a major milestone of puberty called menarche. Okay, let's switch gears for a second and talk about something you've probably wondered about. What actually decides if a baby is a boy or a girl? The answer is pure science, and it's actually way simpler than you might think. It all boils down to these tiny little structures inside every single one of our cells called chromosomes. We've got 23 pairs, but one special pair determines our biological sex. They're called X and Y. A female has two X chromosomes. A male has an X and a Y. Now here's the most important part. An egg always carries an X chromosome. Always. Sperm, though, are the wild cards. A sperm can carry either an X or a Y. So you see how it works, right? If a sperm with an X fertilizes the egg, you get XX, a girl. If a sperm with a Y gets there first, you get XY, a boy. This means the sex of a baby is determined by the father's chromosome. So that old misguided idea of blaming the mother for the sex of a child, it is 100% completely scientifically wrong, period. Whew, we have gone through a lot of science here, but I want to wrap this up with what I think is the single most important takeaway from all of this. Look, feeling a bit weird or self-conscious or just plain awkward through all of this is, well, it's part of the deal. It is totally natural. Your body and your mind are going through a massive upgrade. But the thing you have to remember is that every single adult you know has walked this exact same path. These changes are a normal, necessary part of becoming who you're meant to be. So I'm going to leave you with a question. Now that you understand the how and the why of what your body is doing, what's one positive thing you can do, maybe even today, to support your body through this absolutely amazing transformation? Thanks for hanging out with me.